This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Go Hayes gets a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, A's fans. Welcome to A's Cast Live from the field on a Tuesday before the Athletics take on the Atlanta Braves. Coming your way, a quick two-game set, and then it's going to be the Chicago White Sox for 4. And hopefully we're going to have Matt Olson. He's been over in the dugout. He's been actually making his way over here right now. We'll have Matt Olson, former Oakland Athletic, is going to join us. Eno Sarris from the Athletic is going to join us for the Eno Sarris show. And then at 5 o'clock, the great Ron Washington is going to be here. Cody, let's zoom in on this thing here on our camera. First of all, we want to say, we're going to hear a lot about this today. Want to say thank you to everybody for making us the number one podcast in all of Major League Baseball, as we have reached 500 downloads to become number one in all of Major League Baseball. And I will never forget, one of the reasons why we've been able to get 5 million downloads was a commercial that was cut by Matt Olson saying how much he loved A's Cast and he watched A's Cast back in the day. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
We're doing real well. We just hit 5 million downloads today, become the Major League leader in all of podcasts in Major League Baseball. And, of course, you've been a part of it for years. It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to be back. See some old faces and try to get a win.
Let's be honest. It's got to be weird to be back, right?
Yeah, it's different. Obviously, playing here on one side for so long and going somewhere else, coming back, it's a little different being on the opposite side, but, it's cool.
So you already got to play against the A's earlier this year, so you got to see that emotion. But, for all the A's fans listening, this organization will always mean something to you. It's where you're drafted. It's where you were brought up. Just leaving here, what was that like for you?
Yeah, it was kind of jumping into a new chapter. I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, especially the situation with the CBA kind of drawing late in and then going out to spring and the trade happening. And there was just a lot of moving pieces going on. So, there was kind of a lot new being thrown at me. Like you said, obviously thankful for everything that the A's organization did for me and, giving me a chance, drafting me. And then, equally as happy for the Braves organization, taking a chance on me. And I've been very happy over there.
And you guys are rolling right now. It's a great story. We'll get into that. We just wanted to get into, the A's things, because just talk about the good times and the run and Bob Melvin and this team and Chapman and all the other guys. Just the run that you had here was really special.
Yeah, it was good. I think there's actually a lot of similarities between, our A's team that we had and this Braves team. I think here in Oakland, everybody didn't necessarily look at us as the biggest threat, being, kind of newer young core coming up, and had a couple good years there. Obviously nothing too deep in the playoffs like they did last year, but, kind of the same thing. Everybody doubted the Braves a little bit last year as far as, regular season record and matchups in the playoffs. So, when that's the case, you kind of thrive off of it, and, it's something to rally behind. And, I think it contributed to our success here in Oakland when we were all here, and, their success last year, winning it all.
When Chappie was here, I wanted to give him the opportunity to speak about it because a lot came out in the Athletic about what he was offered, what he turned down, and all of that. And A's fans wanted to know. And we'll end on the A's part on this. Did they ever offer you? Was there ever any negotiations about keeping you here long term? I know a lot of A's have asked me. I don't know. That'd be something between you and the organization. Was that ever a possibility?
Yeah, there was definitely conversation. A little more early on in the career. It was something that I think I don't want to get too far into it, but I think it was expressed that would have liked the chance to sign a long-term deal, and just kind of never necessarily came to fruition. Obviously, we got traded over to Atlanta, and we were able to work something away fairly quickly, but it was something that I was always interested in.
And let's end on this because we know you got hitter meeting going up. Just going back home, this has to be so special for you and your family. What has this been like for you?
It's been great. A lot of familiarity coming into a spot that you grew up in, and the fan base is great. I can't say enough for all the Braves, for what the Braves have done for me so far in this short amount of time, and excited for the next few years and hopefully some more winning baseball.
Well, you were always great to us here on A's Cast Live, and I've said it many times. When I look at all the guys that we've lost, you're going to be the one I miss the most. I think your career is going to be unbelievable. I think you're going to get voted someday for the Hall of Fame, and to watch you grow from a right fielder, we're all angry you were out there, to being one of the best first basemen in baseball. Welcome back. You're always going to be an A in our eyes, and good luck the rest of the way, and good luck the rest of your career. Hopefully we'll be able to do this more often. Now we see each other every season start next year.
There we go.
Thanks, great Chris. Matt Olson right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
The Eno Sarris Show is sponsored by Fieldwork Brewing Company. With 8 taproom locations in Northern California, Fieldwork brings you fresh craft beer direct from the source. Fieldwork will also ship beer direct to your door if you live in California. Visit fieldworkbrewing.com.
Hey A's fans, check out Longport Fish Company, an exciting new chef-driven seafood restaurant located in the Veranda Shopping Center in Concord. Longport features the highest quality lobsters, oysters, king salmon, flavorful cioppino, and much, much more. It features a full bar of craft cocktails, local brews, and a curated wine list. Longport Fish Company is for all occasions too. Date night, business meetings, catching an A's game at the bar, or bringing the whole family. Check us out at longportfc.com, on Yelp, and on all social media.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3for1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, this is Eno Sarris. This is National Baseball columnist Eno Sarris from The Athletic. Do we have the man's open?
The Eno Sarris Show is sponsored by Fieldwork Brewing Company. With 8 taproom locations in Northern California, Fieldwork brings you fresh craft beer direct from the source. Fieldwork will also ship beer direct to your door if you live in California. Visit fieldworkbrewing.com.
Boom. Now, we don't have a set day yet for the Eno Sarris Show, but you guys are going on vacation at the end of the week?
Yeah, we're heading up to Eureka to do a little mini vacation there. So
nice.
Going to Redwood National Forest. And kids want to see some. They actually have this scratch off thing where they can scratch off all the national forests, and so they're like, we want to go to all these and scratch them all off. It's like turned into a Pokemon collecting thing or something.
It's educational.
Well, I'm totally cool with it. I'm like, you want to go to more national forests? Let's go.
Yeah, that does not hurt.
Yeah, right.
We just had Matt Olson on, and I'm not sure if their PR guy was in love with my question, but it's something that I did for Matt Chapman, and Matt Chapman thanked me because you guys came out in The Athletic, talk about how Matt Chapman turned down a $150 million deal, and A's fans want to know, were you offered that? Because we had Giambi on, Jason Giambi, probably 3 years ago, and I asked him the question about that infamous $90 million deal that was offered, and later he had signed with New York for, what was it, 124 or something like that, and Giambi goes, whoa, I was never on. There was nothing technically ever offered to me. He said there might have been trial. Arn Tellem was his agent at the time. There might have been the trial balloon or talk between agent, whatever, but there was never an official, hey, here's the offer.
Right.
So I asked Chapman about that. He thanked me that he was able to have his piece about it. So I want to give Olson the same thing, and I don't think that's a tough question. That's a legitimate question.
And I've asked Billy Beane, why don't you do more of this? Because we have the Braves in town, and the Braves have now signed, 6 guys for 10 years. They've signed Austin Riley, Michael Harris, Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr., all these guys to long-term deals. And the way that works is you do get a little bit of a discount as the team, because what you're doing is you're telling a kid, here's 8 years. You're going to be signed for 8 years. Here's a big bunch of money. A guy like Juan Soto says, no, I'm going year to year, and I'm going to get the big pie in the sky at the end. But, a lot of kids take the deal. And the reason that it works for teams is if you do 5 of them and one doesn't work out, the other 4 pay for that 5th one over and over again. So the Astros, the Rays, the Braves, they've all tried to do this. It hasn't always worked out. There's a guy named John Singleton, who was a first baseman for the Astros, got like $50 million, didn't really play for them much. Guy for the Phillies, I forget his name. He's like an infielder. He signed a deal, didn't work out. But, it's fine if you do a lot of them. The ones that work out that make you a lot of money as a team, or, a surplus value as a team. Billy Beane told me, and I don't know, if this is true or not, but I can understand it. He says, we can't be wrong. Just at the level of payroll that we have, we can't sign 3 or 4 of these guys and be wrong. We can't afford to be wrong. So maybe that's why he hasn't offered these big deals to some of these younger kids to try and lock them up.
Well, also, and not to get too technical, but also from an accounting standpoint, if I know, and it's like with the Julio Rodriguez contract that I love so much, just the base of it, for X amount of years, they know exactly what they pay the player and can budget that year after year after year. It's a manageable number. This is a business, so it's no different than what we do in the restaurant business or any other. There's expenses.
Fixed costs. You need to know what the fixed costs are.
If I know what this cost is, I can budget that in every year and be far more comfortable than doing arbitration and doing those different. So as you said, I offer this kid generational wealth now, but it's really manageable wealth for me as a team. Mm-hmm. So if Billy Beane says it, we'll all wink and go, "Oh, you're a genius, Billy." I don't know if I'm buying it. I get what he's saying, and it's easy. It's easier for them to run their model by giving answers like that. I think we could afford that. I do believe so, but everybody does their business differently.
But let's say you could only afford to do it. I think another part of it is you can only afford to do it like once or twice. Then if you're wrong, then you don't have that third or fourth guy that's paying for it. You know what I mean? Like the costs of being wrong are higher if you can only do it with one or two. So the Braves did it with 5, right? So if Riley doesn't work out, they give him $212 million. If Riley doesn't work out, you're going to say, "Oh, that's terrible." However, they're getting so much surplus off of Acuna and Albies and Michael Harris that they'll be like, whatever.
I know this isn't huge money, but I've watched Ben Sheets come out of nowhere for $10 million. I've watched Billy Butler. No one else wanted him, and I saw 3 years, $30 million. Donaldson would have signed that in a second. So it's like interesting when you want to pay, when you want to don't, but I mean,
yeah.
That's part of the problem with our game in baseball is when you have salary caps, everybody is in this range that they can only spend so much, but they have to spend so much. So everybody is kind of in a range, and it really helps those sports. And I wish we really could sit down a lot of the other players and say, listen, a salary cap would cap the stars, but the rest of you would make so much more money if they did that.
I mean, because a salary cap comes with a salary floor.
Correct.
And that's why they've never been able to negotiate a salary floor. I don't know that I think that it's better with the salary cap idea. It takes a lot of advanced modeling and thinking, but I do know that if they could get a floor without a cap, it'd be much better for players.
Well, and with the one thing that you look at all the time is you go, wait a minute. The NFL and the NBA have passed Major League Baseball. They both got it. It took a lot of time to get it, took a lot of pain, took a lot of heartache. They got a lot of guys in the NFL. They did it. There's a model that could work.
There's a couple things.
But as long as Scott Boras and those power players don't want that, that's your problem.
Well, also, there's a different level of trust between players and ownership in different sports. So, for example, in baseball, I think that they don't ever trust that the owners would report all their income, because the whole basis of a salary cap and salary floor is like we get 50% of what you make. And I think in baseball, they're like, well, you guys had BAM and you spun it off and you made a bunch of money off of that and you claimed it had nothing to do with us. And so that wasn't our money. You know, you do this, you do the real estate deals and you make a bunch of money and it has something to do with us, but you say it's not our money. You know, so there's a lot of distrust there. And then the last thing, I guess, is the salary cap, the luxury tax as it is now is a de facto cap.
Yes.
So they should be able to figure out to get a floor in there. If there is a de facto cap, maybe a de facto floor, something that's
I'm all in on the floor. I would love a soft floor. I would love a hard floor. Right? I want a beautiful, I'm talking hardwood, solid, that every so many years you got to wax it to shine it up. I want a hardwood solid floor. You said something to Cody, and one of the main reasons we love this idea about this partnership is just you bring stuff that makes us think. And we're going to do that every single week. And about the Padres, and they haven't had the boom that they thought they were going to get when they made all these deals. And you came up with this for us about how the Padres, they don't swing at pitches out of the strike zone. which you did an article on, said that's great for teams.
Yes, good job.
But then they don't swing at pitches inside the strike zone. And then I'm wondering, well, when do they swing? Because you do have to hit the ball at some point.
So it turns out adding Juan Soto, the biggest non-swinger in baseball, to Trent Grisham, maybe the second biggest non-swinger in baseball, makes you have a lineup that's super passive. So, yes, the Padres are number 1 in not swinging at balls and number 30 in swinging at strikes. And I think it actually has been a problem for them because it's just easier to game plan as a pitcher. You just know they're not swinging. So you can play more games with sort of ball to strike pitches, like you throw them more front door stuff because they're not going to swing, and boom, called strike. Let's go. I think in the last game, they had a pitcher debut who had a really good fastball and not really good secondaries. And he was throwing fastballs in 2-strike counts, and their sort of passive, setup led to a bunch of strikeouts. So I think there is, I did write the piece saying like being patient is really good for you. But there's always a perfect way to do it, like a sort of a perfect balance. If you're not swinging the balls in the strike zone, you're going to get a lot of called strike threes.
All right, here's a good question. So, like Matt Olson just had to leave us for a hitters meeting. They have pitchers meetings, and Scott Emerson is going over this with the catchers, the pitchers. If you're going up against the Padres in a series and you got all these notes, and it's like, okay, how do we attack these guys? Well, they don't swing at anything. What is this meeting like? Well, they don't swing here. They don't do this. You got the. I mean, does anybody have hot zones if no one's swinging? I mean, Machado's got some hot zones.
Yeah,
obviously.
Machado is the one you want to watch out for. You stay out of the zone.
He's going hacking.
Yeah, you stay out of the zone for Machado, and then for everybody else, you fill up the zone, and you probably fill up the zone with breaking balls. I mean, I think that's a big part of why the league is a breaking ball league now, and why breaking ball command is one of the most important aspects that you can get in a pitcher. Because you can't get keyholed into having to throw a strike with a fastball, then the hitter's ready, But if you can throw a slider in the zone for a strike, then you've got 2 options for throwing inside the zone. So you got all these patient hitters. You throw a slider in the zone. They see slider. They say, okay, I'm not going to swing. Slider in the zone, call strike.
These things really happen over time where we start changing and conditioning our athletes. There was a time where they didn't want to talk about it here, but it was real. Like in the minor leagues with the A's, you were basically told you do not swing 3-0.
Yep.
You're teaching more passive, more, or I should say.
They even had some lower level stuff where it was like you don't swing until you get to strike 2.
So I want to say you think you're teaching patience, but you're teaching people to be passive and not pull the trigger. Essentially, in my opinion, really hurt Jack Cust in his baseball career. He just got to a point where he couldn't pull the trigger anymore. It was almost like the yips in his head about swinging.
Yeah. I think that sometimes having a hitting coach that preaches aggressiveness sit on top of an organization that develops patience is a good way to do it, because these guys come up with good natural patience, and then their hitting coach says, when you see a strike, hunt it. And now we've trained you to see what a strike is, to know what a strike is. So now hunt. You got to the big leagues, you developed your sense of like where are the ducks, where are the good pitches, right? And now you're in the big leagues, hunt.
So I put you in the blind,
yeah,
the hunting blind.
I figured it out.
I didn't give you a gun, but you had a Bushnell, and I could find them and see how far they are. Now you get a gun.
Now you're in the major leagues. Hunt.
But you want me to now fire the gun, and I haven't fired the gun.
Yeah, that's true.
How am I going to be good at shooting the duck?
Yeah.
And for you people that are against duck hunting, I apologize. I am not a hunter. I don't own a gun. But you understand the analogy. Like, I'm trying to teach you now to fire the gun.
No,
but
this is the kind of thing that people are debating in player development all around baseball. Do wins in the minor leagues matter? That's one question that people don't all have the same answer to. Do wins in the minor leagues matter? You didn't teach them how to win. You didn't care. You said it didn't matter. Wins in the minor league matter a little. I don't know. I wouldn't say that they matter a lot. Everyone's working on stuff, but they matter a little.
And it's really, I think, easier for us to go to other sports for this, that the minor league system for the NBA and for college I mean, for the NBA and for the NFL is college sports.
And they have to win.
Winning, it's all about winning.
Yeah.
So it's like when I get a player, a difference maker, and it's usually the guys that touch the ball, right? It's your quarterbacks, it's your point guard, it's Steph Curry, he's shooting the basketball. The fact that Steph Curry has made and done all this crazy stuff at Davidson, he's learned how to do it and bring it to the NBA versus minor league baseball. You'd say, I don't care if his team never made the tournament, never won a thing. I'm going to teach him to win when he gets here.
And then you do these weird things in the minor leagues where you're like, don't swing till 2 strikes, don't swing on 3-0. They have there's all these things like you have to throw 10 changeups today. Like I've heard pitchers be like, I threw 10 changeups in a row and then I got to the rest of my start. And that's the kind of stuff that happens in the minor leagues because you're focusing on developing. You're telling them do this. It's sort of ancillary to winning. It'll make you better at winning in the future, but it's not about winning tonight. And some teams don't even prepare their players for the game in the same way that they got a hitter's advance meeting. They're talking about charts. They've got everything. The hitting coach is talking to them about who they're going to face tonight. They might even do VR or
virtual reality.
Or they might have the eye pitch, which is a great pitching machine, mimic the pitcher tonight and turn it up. They're doing all these things to win. There are some organizations that are still not doing any of that for their minor leaguers. So the first time they ever see a heat map for the opposing starting pitcher is in the big leagues. Because they're not caring about winning those games. So you don't need to prepare them the same way.
And then I'm supposed to take a guy who's never used virtual reality. It'd be like taking us older guys and putting us in a newer arcade and going, here's a bunch of quarters, kids. Go figure it out. We'd be like, this isn't like Pac-Man that we played when we were kids. Like, you want someone to use technology and to use
then you have to have it all the way up.
Put it this way. You want them to use it expertly.
Yeah.
And they've never used it before.
Right.
And now you want them to use it here at the big league level?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Certain kids that come up through certain organizations get to the big leagues and they're like, okay, that. And they even can start to say, no, that doesn't work for me. VR doesn't work for me. But these other things do, and I know what they do, and I've figured it out. And then there are other kids who come up through other organizations who are like, what is this thing? What's that thing? What's that thing that's Rapsodo?
Well, and there's so much too of, I don't want to say doesn't matter, but we always find there's a lot of failure mentality of we don't care about pitchers' wins. We don't care about winning. We don't care about like there's so much of this stuff that's in the sport.
It's the process.
And
we're rebuilding.
It makes me, I think golf is a great comparison because what you have in golf is you have a lot of professional golfers who are range warriors, right? They have TrackMan. Golf started all this well before baseball. With
like
the
DeChambeau
technology.
a little bit. Just like
yes. All they do is
sit up.
All they do is they look because my brother started testing for Titleist in the early 90s, well before baseball, because they were selling
a lot of
clubs
stuff
and
come over
balls.
From golf.
Golf and baseball is very similar. But these guys learn on the range how to just hammer it and spin it and do all this stuff. But then you got to go actually play the game of golf, which now is a lot of short game. It's putting, pitching, chipping out of the sand.
What do I do here? The strategy of it too.
Yeah, I mean,
winning.
You're not hitting into this vast range of nothing. I'm now hitting. There's trees. There's water.
Yeah,
you got to play the sport. And I think we're into this now so much where we're a launch angle. I'm pointing towards the launch angle at the plate as they're taking BP now. Behind me, the mounds. We're talking about spin rates and everything. Well, at some point when you get out on the mound, you just have to get somebody out.
Yeah, so I think this is an interesting segue also to something else we're going to talk about, which is the way that the A's are going around building this pitching staff, right? And out there on the market, I have a Stuff Plus number out there on the market. Stuff Plus. There are a lot of teams that have Stuff Plus. It's expensive to buy stuff. If you want to get stuff in,
with inflation too, yeah,
yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, stuff is not cheap.
So here are some pitchers in the starting rotation for the A's. Cole Irvin has 0 pitches that are above average by Stuff Plus. 0. He has 4 pitches that are above average by locations, by command. Blackburn has 1 pitch that's above average by Stuff Plus, the cutter. He has 0 other pitches that are above average by Stuff Plus. He has 5 pitches that are above average by location. JP Sears has 0 pitches that are above average by Stuff Plus. He has 2 that he can locate very well. So I think that's one sort of way that they've gone with their pitchers. There's some interesting aspects of that to Adrian Martinez. I think his changeup is pretty plus. He has good command of the other pitches. So that's one aspect. And then you got newcomer, Ken Waldichuk, and he's the opposite, right?
He's a stuff plus guy?
Yes, he is.
By the way, you are such a journalist. You should see this chicken scratch paper. This is what writers do. They sit there and they write it. They'll listen to the managers and they write this that no one can read it but them.
So Waldichuk is totally different. He's got 3 pitches that are above average by stuff plus and 0 that are above average by location. So, if you are the A's, like sometimes you just have to be trying to find guys. If you have above average stuff plus and above average location on 3 pitches, then maybe the other team's not trading you that guy.
Well, it sounds like what you mentioned, the first 3 guys for the A's, when we talk Sears, Cole Irvin, and Blackburn, they're winning because of control.
Yes, and keeping hitters on their back foot, and just I have 4 pitches I can command. You don't know which one's going to be. I can put them in different parts. None of them are going to show up on Pitching Ninja, probably.
No.
But I can put them where I need to put them.
Pitching Ninja, friend of the program. But Waldichuk's got a combo, and that takes me to where you were, I think it was last week you said this, and I've thought about it all week, is that the Yankees – so there was a great article, I think, that was in The Athletic. It was years ago that talked about 1998. Essentially, Brian Cashman, even though he had one of the best teams in the history of baseball, knew that his analytics department was nothing. Talked to Billy Beane. Billy Beane helped change the Yankees, unfortunately, into being more into analytics, which now the Yankees have the biggest analytic department. They have more than anybody. They have more employees, more think tank than anybody else. And you mentioned how guys that play for the Yankees, even at the lower level, are trained really well. But they can't all make the big club. Yeah. So if you're able to get some of their guys that at that current point just can't scratch the big club, might be a good idea because they're so well trained. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah. Like I just talked to Clark Schmidt for like 20 minutes when he was in town. And Clark Schmidt is the guy they kept, I guess. And Waldichuk is the guy they traded. Clark Schmidt, they developed, he was a 4-seam guy that had a good curveball. And they developed using seam-shifted wake and using all the newest advancements in technology and in analytics. They developed a really good sinker for him and a sweeping slider. Everyone wants a sweeper. He called it the whirly. So they gave him a whirly.
We used to call it. So for someone like me who was a short armor, I never had the great 12-6 curveball because I didn't have the extension, or I didn't have the great extension on the slider. But I could throw we called it a slurve. It was in between a slider and a curve.
Return of the slurve.
It's a frisbee.
Yeah. So the sweeper, he called it the whirly. So he came in with this and this with the curveball, and they gave him this and this, and now he's a 4-pitch guy with command and velo, and they just coached everything up. And there's some rumors that the Yankees are internally sort of deciding. That command is something that they maybe have undervalued in the past, and if they look at somebody like Jordan
throwing
Montgomery,
strikes,
well, they've been a very stuff plus type of organization. Yeah. They've been really stuff plus. If you think about Luis Severino, a lot of the guys who've come up, it's been more about stuff, and I'm gonna throw real hard and have a great breaking ball off of that, But then they had a real success with Jordan Montgomery, and he represents more. I have a lot of pitches and I have command of them, And so maybe in this case they decided to keep Clark Schmidt because he has better command than Ken Waldichuk. But I'd also agree with you that they have a bit of an embarrassment of riches, and that Ken Waldichuk has really good upside. I mean, location plus is different than walks. So if you look at Ken Waldichuk's line, you'll see a lot of walks, and they'll say he doesn't have good command. But location plus looks at, is he putting him in good locations, even if that's outside the strike zone sometimes? And he's not far from average. There are people with way worse command than Ken Waldichuk. I think it's workable, and I think you see good velo, good shapes. I think he's going to be good.
I mean, if you're living on the edges and you're just not getting the calls, but you're hitting your target, that's pretty good command.
And you don't.
It's one thing when you're all over the joint.
Yeah, he sails the 4-seam a little bit sometimes, but I think he's close. I think he's really close to getting it all figured out. So
Well, wouldn't you say also it's very rare that you'll find somebody who struck out a lot of people and didn't walk people.
that's true too.
Right? I mean, it's just if you're one of the all-time strikeout guys, there's things that come with that. That's high pitch counts and that's walks.
A lot of times it's just not giving in, right? Like it's a 3-2 count. I'm still going to throw you that slider off the edge because I think you'll swing at it.
Versus down the middle, Broadway hit it.
Right. So there's definitely people that'll just I'm not giving in. I'm just going to throw my pitches, and if I walk you, Randy Johnson, man.
So when you start to look at the A's, we were talking about this in the postgame show the other day about next year. You know, if you need it probably over, let's just call it Perry Manassian, the GM of the Angels, said, hey, listen, the average team uses 13 guys a year starting. So I've been going off what he had to say. I'm sure his numbers are better than the research 0 that I put into it. So Perry said 13, the average team, I'm going to go with him. Let's just say 10 plus.
Because 10, you use 7 pretty bulk. 10 will probably get to about 40, 50 innings. 13, you'll have 3 guys that'll do some spot start.
Okay, so it's almost like we need to think of like horses. And we have a stable. We have a couple stables, right? In this stable, we've got starters. In this stable, we got bullpen. Probably over here in this stable, the starter stable, we're going to need over 10 guys.
Yeah.
So when I start looking at everybody with the A's, and you just started mentioning some of them, and knowing there's some more coming from these trades, the A's could be in from a starting, I don't know about hitters, but from a starting pitcher standpoint, if you need 10 or more the next couple of seasons, they may be in a good spot.
I think so. I was looking at some of the names that aren't in the rotation right now necessarily. Adrian Martinez, I think he has a plus changeup. It's a really weird pitch because it moves less than his fastball, but it has a good velo separation, so it really works. I think he has a 6 or 7, great. Zach Logue, I think maybe headed long-term towards relieving, but if you can keep him at a 2-3 inning level, then you can keep him as like a guy who's on the roster, but also your 6 or 7 starter. So I think those are good names that you're going 7-8 deep. I do wish that the A's, and this is a constant refrain, do wish that they invested a little bit more in their player development and the data and the tech and the coaching and the minor league level, and got a little bit more of a pipeline of their own players. A lot of times it seems like they acquire players to play in the big leagues.
Well, and that we were just talking about the 20-game win streak. I mean, they were at the forefront at one point. What happened?
I think it's expensive on some level. It's an expensive thing to infuse every level with data and also pay your coaches more than the competition at every level. You got a lot of coaches. You got to hire 30, 40, 50 coaches. If you're paying more than the competition for those coaches, that's 30 times.
Are we talking about certain teams just from how they train their minor leaguers are spending way more money than other teams?
Yes. The Houston Astros have, I think, maybe $10,000 worth of cameras in every practice and play facility they have. And these are the slow motion Edgertronic cameras. So they have $10,000 worth of that in every stadium that they and any of their kids play in, and any complex they play in. So we're not just talking about the 4 or 5, minor league teams that they have. We're talking about all those complexes they have, all those fields. Each of those fields has cameras on them, And so just think about what that kind of philosophy is. It's also like, well, I'm going to outbid the A's for our high A hitting coach. I'm going to outbid the A's for our high A pitching coach. I'm going to outbid them for the next one up, the next one up, the next one up. You're talking about 30, 40 pitching coaches, hitting coaches, coordinators, and they're just willing to spend all that money at every level.
Well, there is something to be said about certain organizations, and one of them is here today, and the Atlanta Braves, and the amount of talent they keep bringing up at such a young age, what they're bringing up, whether it's from the draft or it's from their international signings. The Dodgers do it all the time. It's like a pipeline. Like no one ever viewed, as you mentioned, the Astros. No one ever viewed them as having a great minor league system. They just keep bringing guys up.
Look at their rotation. Their rotation is almost all homegrown guys in Verlander. Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy, Framber Valdez. Like they had a new guy, Hunter Brown, up the other day.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening in Houston and in Atlanta is really interesting. I think they are amazing at scouting. I think that's their number one thing. But they also added Mike Fast, who helped build the Astros' current system and left for Atlanta. So he's been there for a while. So they've taken a lot of those Astros data and tech things, infused an organization that was already very good at scouting. Because you look at all those guys that they're bringing up right now, Vaughn Grissom, Michael Harris, all those guys, really good scouting was a big part of it. But they're also building a coaching, lineup to coach all those guys all the way up to the big leagues.
Here's a guy to me, and I know you got something on Acevedo's slider. What's so interesting is knowing that last year he pitched in 10 games. And now I believe it's at, look it up, Cody's at 61 or 62. You want to talk about a dramatic change. Now, I know he's got the body and he's a farmer. He grew up on a farm and he's a tough kid. What does he have?
61.
61. So you've gone from 10 to 61 appearances.
Yeah.
The dramatic change on that, once again, shows you how bullpens without September call-ups are going to be very interesting to see how you've ridden these guys. And you used to have some relief. You don't have that relief.
Now you have a limit on how many times you can option them.
So Acevedo, just an amazing story.
Yeah, I really love it. And Acevedo, and I mentioned Adrian Martinez's changeup. Acevedo's slider and Adrian Martinez's changeup are the strangest, weirdest pitches on this team. And strange is good in pitching. It's just one of those things where hitters perform on a nightly basis. They see certain shapes, and the things that are in the middle, the easiest shapes, are the ones that are the same, the average. It's the things that are weird that they're like, man, I got to see that again. What was that? So Adrian Martinez's changeup moves less than his fastball. That's weird. Domingo Acevedo's slider, Dallas Braden pointed this out to me. It has changeup movement. It's a backup slider. He throws a backup slider on purpose. Nobody else does this. It has. So normally when you throw a breaking ball, it breaks to your glove side, and everything's like that. If you think about it, slider breaks, curveball breaks that way. His slider breaks that way towards his arm side.
So you can say it's a slider by its grip, but its action is more of like a circle change.
In which case, because he has a change, he has a sinker at least. He has like some sort of weird. It's a unique pitch, man. I don't know what it is.
The gyro ball.
It's the gyro ball.
Daisuke used to have. Like, what? They tried to explain it. How do you have a gyro ball? But in the end, I don't care what Rapsodo, I don't care what the high-tech cameras.
Well, a lot of the work of Rapsodo and the high-tech cameras does it get out?
Does it get out? That's what Scott Emerson always says to us, because Scott Emerson has told us about some of these kids. We'll tell you how great their spin rates are, but they don't get outs.
Yeah.
In the end, you still got – I don't care if you're Ken Holtzman in the 70s just throwing a BP fastball that guys weren't ready for. It's just because he was taking something off his fastball. It acted like a changeup, and guys were out in front, popped up. However you do it, it's got to work.
Well, I'm not arguing against feel. Feel is super important. Command is super important. But I will say that if you're in the bullpen working with these guys, a lot of times the work is just to make their pitches that they have stranger, make them weirder. So
make them work.
Make them work.
Yeah, however you grip it. Because, I mean, if you ever look at Mariano Rivera, how he gripped the slider, that's not how normally you grip a slider.
Yeah.
In his, I think he had a decent little career.
Yeah. Zach Britton's sinker, it comes from a cutter grip. That crazy power sinker he has. He throws the cutter grip.
From a cutter grip. And that's another thing, too, like back in the day, just thinking a cutter is just basically taking your two-seam fast, putting it, and just moving it just a little bit. Not even a slider grip, but just moving it a little bit. And the cutter, the movement is just not that different, but it's just different enough.
And for some reason, him and the cutter grip and his slot, it gives you sinker movement. It's the weirdest thing. So I bet you Acevedo calls it a slider, and so we'll call it a slider. But
it's really a change of
some
action.
Sort of weird, yeah, or a backup slider, like a hanging slider almost.
All right, so we're here. We'll end on this. We're here. It's September. It's coming down.
It's hot.
Here are the Braves have basically reeled in the Mets. Yankees are falling apart. I want the Guardians to win so bad because the Guardians play old school traditional baseball.
Make a lot of contact.
Will the Dodgers get to 116 plus? There's a lot of. What are you looking forward to the most coming down the stretch here?
I'm interested to see. The Padres had such a massive collapse last year. I'm kind of interested in the teams that are collapsing sometimes. So the Yankees that have let the Rays back in it in their division, and the Blue Jays, and the Padres themselves, in the midst of another slide. It's not the sexiest story, because it's sad, but it also is like, how is this happening, and how is that happening again, and why is it happening? It's easier to look at the Braves and say, oh, this is a great young team, really athletic, really great scouting, all coming together, all in their prime ages at the right time. It's, with a great bullpen. It's easier to say why something's good than to be like, why are the Yankees falling apart? That was a team that we thought was going to be with the Dodgers all year.
Yeah.
So those are the teams I'm watching: the Yankees, the Mets, and the Padres.
And this has to end at some point for the Dodgers, right? This can't go on forever.
You look at their team and they seem like they're getting older.
I just started looking at the stats. The guy, the red beard who couldn't hit all year long, now Justin
Turner. Figure it out. That's right.
I mean, my God, he's leading in longest active hitting streak at 14. He's got the longest active extra base hit streak. I mean, is this ever going to stop? I mean, they're on a Braves-like run for the Braves from the 90s.
They also position the defense really, really well. Like all their pitchers have the lowest batting average on balls in play. They've got defense, something figured out on defense.
Well, enjoy your trip to the Redwoods.
I will.
It's going to be a nice little family vacation.
Yeah.
You're not going to the beach. You're not sitting by the pool. You're going camping.
That's right. Well, Airbnb camping.
We like to call that glamping.
Yeah, that's right.
Can we play a sponsor, please? The Eno Sarris Show is sponsored by Fieldwork Brewing Company. With 8 taproom locations in Northern California, Fieldwork brings you fresh craft beer direct from the source. Fieldwork will also ship beer direct to your door if you live in California. Visit fieldworkbrewing.com.
Boom. Talk to you next week. The great Eno Sarris right here on A's Cast Live. Ron Washington coming up at 5 o'clock.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hey, A's fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Innovation that's at the heart of Cal State East Bay. Like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students map genes from California's endangered plants. Or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Well, I got to tell you, a lot of people here in the Bay Area have waited to see this guy ever since the trade. Of course, he's a St. Mary's Gale, and now an Oakland Athletic coming over from the New York Yankees. Ken Waldachuk is with us here, making his debut on A's Cast Live. How are you?
Not too bad.
This has been a wild ride for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy these past couple months.
You know, I got to think, you come over from the Yankees and all of a sudden the land of opportunity, but it's a place you went to college here. You know all about the Bay Area, but now you're truly going to get a chance to pitch at the big league level. What did the trade mean for you?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy at first, getting on plane, saying bye to everyone. But it was awesome. I knew some people in the organization, so I knew there would be some familiar faces, and I was pumped to be able to get to work.
And what would it mean? What did it mean to you to come back to the Bay Area?
It's awesome. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of like really good friends I have nearby that I haven't seen in a couple of years. So it'll be good to reconnect with them, and just to be back in like this environment is going to be awesome.
Did it help also with JP Sears coming with you?
Yeah, definitely. I think he got moved up within a week of when we got sent over. But it was cool just knowing someone that I came with. He was a pretty good friend over there. So, yeah, it definitely helped.
When you first talked to David Force, the general manager, once the trade happened, what did he say to you and what he thought the plan would be for you?
I actually talked to Feinstein.
Okay.
But, the plan was just, I think just for me to go to the PCL and try to pitch there and learn how to throw there, and then hopefully get a taste up here.
Yeah, unfortunately, you had to go to Vegas. When Feinstein calls you and you got to go to Vegas, you're like, I'm going to Vegas, but pitching there. We've seen just the horror stories about pitching there. But then you get the call up, and now it's for real. What was going on for you? Like, I'm now at the big league level, and I'm getting my opportunity.
Yeah, at first I was definitely a little shocked. I got told, and I was pumped, but I don't think it really hit me until I was on that plane coming over here.
And then how about the very first batter you face? First pitch, they're hacking against you.
Yeah, there I just had so much adrenaline. I thought, let me just put one in the zone. And I put it in the zone. It was just right down the middle, and he just hacked and got a good swing off on it.
I was thinking about it, like if I was you and you're up there, right? Heart's pounding. You got all this adrenaline. This is what you've wanted your entire life, right? And it's almost like they knew. It's like they were like they were swinging every fastball. It was like, and I could see where at first it's like, what is going on? But they came out and ambushed right away swinging. But after that, you settled down. You start throwing your changeup. You start throwing your breaking ball. Talk about how once the emotion, I'm not sure the emotion never went away, but once you settled down, things changed for you in that start.
Yeah. I was able to pick up that was kind of their game plan, and that's why I kind of deviated the changeup. And then once I was able to get to 2 strikes, I was able to throw some sliders and stuff fastballs up out of the zone. And I think that's when I started to see some better results that outing.
So what was it like after you get done? You thought about it? I'm now a big league pitcher.
Yeah, instant reaction. I was pretty upset that I walked 2 guys and got pulled and didn't finish the inning. I kind of wanted to make it 5. But at the end of the day, I was like, that was a pretty cool experience. It was something definitely that I can build off of, and I felt like I learned a lot.
What are your expectations for yourself as you're now in the rotation and you're going to get starts till the end of the year?
Yeah, I kind of just want to stay like in the zone, and just learn every outing. I kind of just want to get to work and see how my stuff plays, see what adjustments I have to make on certain stuff, and just have fun.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. It's like you get up here, you want to see you're going tomorrow, right?
I am.
Like you're going up against a team that is one of the top teams in baseball, and you're going up against a team who won the World Series last year. You get a chance to see, how do I match it? You've always wondered. Now you get to know.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the opportunity.
And so now we're just talking with Eno Sarris about this. Technology up here is different than technology down in the minor leagues. Now, I know the Yankees were pretty good with technology, but are you using it differently? Are you getting different views, looks, data? What is it like now that you're up here?
I'm still sticking to a similar approach on how I was preparing for lineups. Definitely a different base here, so I'm able to go a little more in depth. And definitely with the level of hitters up here, I think I have to go more in depth as well on certain stuff. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just kind of keeping the same approach and seeing if it still works.
And a lot of it is what? Sticking to your strengths? I mean, you got to stick with what got you there.
My strengths versus their weaknesses, how to get ahead, how to put them away, all that.
All right. I know it may not have happened yet, but what's the big league moment for you where you're like, oh, my God, I'm in the big leagues?
The big league moment? Man, it was probably just warming up before that start. And having like some hecklers out there and all that, and
they were getting after you.
Not crazy, but just having all those people here early. That was definitely like a new thing.
Do you remember what they were saying to you?
No, I don't remember at all. No,
but just the fact that they were out there, in our nation's capital, it was kind of cool, to be at that ballpark and to get that very first start. We're also happy for you, and just so you know, ever since the trade, how jacked A's fans are for you and JP Sears to be here, knowing that you two are a big part of our future. And I think the two of you together coming here to be in the rotation a long time would mean a lot.
Yeah, it'd definitely be awesome.
Well, thank you so much for the time. We truly appreciate it. And hopefully we're going to do this for many, many years. We'll have you here on A's Cast Live. It's been fun to watch you start.
Thank you.
We got more coming up next. And the great Ron Washington's going to join us coming up here at 5 o'clock right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, A's fans, check out Longport Fish Company, an exciting new chef-driven seafood restaurant located in the Veranda Shopping Center in Concord. Longport features the highest quality lobsters, oysters, king salmon, flavorful cioppino, and much, much more. It features a full bar of craft cocktails, local brews, and a curated wine list. Longport Fish Company is for all occasions, too. Date night, business meetings, catching an A's game at the bar, or bringing the whole family. Check us out at longportfc.com, on Yelp, and on all social media.
The Eno Sarris Show is sponsored by Fieldwork Brewing Company. With 8 taproom locations in Northern California, Fieldwork brings you fresh craft beer direct from the source. Fieldwork will also ship beer direct to your door if you live in California. Visit fieldworkbrewing.com.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Streaming from Rickey Henderson Field, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Well, we've had him on for years on A's Cast Live, and it's now great to have him in person. The great Ron Washington joins us here. As WASP, we've taken it now and turned it into a TV show.
Oh, okay.
So it's just not audio anymore.
All right.
We now got you on video. First off, thank you, because you know how much this organization, what you mean to it, and I know how much this organization means to you. It's got to be a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for you out on this field. It's got to be great for you to be back.
It's always wonderful to come back to Oakland. And, they look like they're in a little rebuilding stage, but I think they're in good hands with Kasi and his group. And they do play hard on the field, and that's all you can ask for. It's always walking down memory lane when I walk into this stadium, because there are a ton of memories here. And I'm sorry I missed the 20-game win streak party. I heard it was outstanding. I wish I could have gotten here, but it just didn't work out.
What does it mean to you that even though you weren't here, you were brought up a lot during that time in all the interviews?
Well, it means a lot because I was a part of it. I mean, I was standing outside the lines. The guys did it between the lines, but we were a family, and that's the way we went about our business. And that's the one memory I always keep when I do come back to Oakland. The years that I was here, it was 17 of them, and we were a family, and that's the way we went about our business as a family.
I wanted to ask you about Art Howe because there's a lot of emotion around Art, unfortunately, about the movie, the way he was portrayed. And right before we were going to introduce him, I did an interview with him. And I asked him about what's it going to mean to you to get that love, to truly know how much this fan base loves you. During his answer, he choked up and started to cry.
That's Art. You know, I learned so much from him just by watching him work when I was working for him. He let the players play. He let his coaches coach. He stepped in when he had to step in. He was a common factor. He knows a lot of baseball. Of course, those guys loved him. I love him to death because when I got my first managing job, I brought him on as my bench coach because I wanted his wisdom and knowledge next to me. And he's always going to be a tremendous part of my life because he gave me my first opportunity as a coach in the big leagues.
And one guy I think you would have loved to have seen, because we hadn't seen him other than an opposing player. He'd never come back and put that A's jersey on, but he did. He's a guy that you helped make the MVP. You've made a lot of good players. This guy was the MVP.
You must be talking about Miguel Tejada.
Miguel Tejada coming back, and I did the interview with him. He was emotional. He just hadn't been back, but he was welcomed back and just kind of, hey, remember, Miguel, you're a big part of this family. Don't ever forget that. I think that would have been nice for you to see him because he's a big part of what the A's did, especially during that time.
You know, it's funny how life worked. We did the All-Star game because we were the World Series champs. So we did the All-Star game, and I ran into Miguel. That's the first time I seen Miguel since he left Baltimore, and he still looked good. And I just always told him when I seen him how much he meant to me because he kept me invigorated. He kept me working. He kept me trying. The things that I've learned about infield play, I was able to start with Miguel, Eric Chavez, Mark Ellis, Jason Giambi. Those were the guys that gave me my opportunity to be a major league infield coach. And from that point, it just grew.
Yeah.
And they were the reason that it grew because I was able to take my ideas and my visions and use on them. See, they were puppets. They didn't know it.
Scott Hatterberg, we were talking to Hatterberg, and he's like, no, Billy Bean and Ron Washington were not in my living room. That did not happen.
No, it happened in Phoenix Municipal Stadium. We had the conversation. It did happen in Phoenix Municipal Stadium. That was a movie, of course.
Yeah.
But the conversation, it did happen. And the results of that conversation, it did happen too.
Yeah.
But Scotterberg turned himself into a hell of a first baseman.
I want everybody to know it's hot out here today. And we've been doing this show almost 2 hours. This is where we do every home show. And I was over there watching you. Before we started this show, you were out there working with somebody, one of your middle infielders. I don't care. I couldn't see who it was.
The first one was Grisham.
So I want everybody to know it's been hours out in the heat that you're out here. There's something about in you work ethic. Not only do you love being a teacher, you love helping people, and that's the great thing. A coach, a teacher loves the best part of your job is helping somebody else. But when did you learn that work ethic that you're out there today? You're grinding in the sun.
Learned that work ethic when I was in the projects in New Orleans. You bring that with you as a child. And then the people that you run into when you finally get a chance to get into the professional ranks, every one of my coaches made a difference in my life. And every one of my coaches that I've had from rookie ball to the major leagues is inside of Ron Washington. And I express it every single day. I couldn't tell you which one it is coming out. Sometimes I can tell you which one it is coming out, but they all are inside of me. And that's the way I was brought up. And I try to pass that on and hope that the kids that I'm dealing with, when they get to the point where they become seniors instead of juniors, they can pass it on. And that's how we keep the game going. That little work we do is only 4 minutes. I don't care how hot it is. It's only 4 minutes. You can get it done in 4 minutes and be gone. Now, the player can get it done in 4 minutes and be gone. I got 6 players. So I'm out there getting 6 guys. And I'm the one doing the sweating. I'm the one doing the work. You see what I'm saying? But when they see me get through that work, it makes it good for them to get through the work. Because when I was a youngster and I had older coaches, I used to say, if he could hang out here doing this, I'm going to hang out here doing this. And that's the mindset I try to give to those kids. If I'm out here in this heat, it doesn't matter. You only get 4 minutes. I got 6 guys. So that's 4 times 6 multiplied.
Yeah.
And then there's conversation about what may have happened the day before, what we need to do, what you might be doing wrong, what we have to correct. All of that goes on. It's not just me on my knees flipping balls to them.
I think about the spirit of your ball club right now. Last year left for dead basically in early August, win the World Series. This year all about Mets. And you're reeling them in, and you're right there. You guys are going to be in this thing, whether you're winning the division or you're a wild card. What is it about this group of men that makes them so special?
They won a World Series, so they have the heart of a champion. They've been through the grind. They know what it takes. They know what it takes every single day to come out here and play and put yourself in that position. Even though we didn't make a move until August, our attitude and our commitment to what we were capable of doing was always in the making. It just took a little bit through the year for it to come together. We wish it would have came together from day one, but it didn't. But inside that clubhouse, we never gave up on what we were capable of doing, and we searched the whole year to find it. And once we found it, everybody else had to get out the way.
And you keep bringing up all these young guys. It's like you guys have like a young guy tree in your backyard, and you just keep picking these guys. I mean, everybody you got, some of your players under 25, it's crazy.
And the group that won the World Series, we had them when they was 20 and 18. They came up in 17. We got a little better in 18. We went to the playoffs in 18, 19. We almost beat the Dodgers in 20. And then 21, we won it with the same group. They got class. They baseball rats. They give respect to each other. They give respect to the game. They give respect to the opponent. They show up every day to be the best they could be for each and every one of their teammates. And, you know, that's pretty hard to get together. But we just got a group of young kids that had that mindset. I think that Atlanta Braves does a good job of identifying character.
Well, don't forget they got good coaches.
Well, they got tremendous coaches. They do. They have tremendous coaches. Yeah. And the coaching staff that they put together here is a very veteran coaching staff that always keep the thumb on them. We never let them get away with anything. No matter how small, you see something, we say something. Something needs to be taken care of, we take care of it. We don't let nothing get kicked under the rug. And our kids respond to it because they know from day one, we developed a relationship, and they know that relationship is love. And I wear this every day.
Just a little love. Sometimes all you need, right?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, let me tell you, whenever you're on, A's fans love it. So, and you've been so good to us. How many times you've been on all the years? I remember doing an interview with you years ago when you were at the Rangers way down here. You've always been first class. And from the A's fans, I want to say thank you for always coming on and enjoy every moment. You're going to get a lot of ovations here because this building, in this building, you are loved. You will always be part of this A's family.
And I've never doubted that. That's why every time I come to Oakland, I look forward to it. I've never doubted that. Even through hard times, they find a way to love you. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about, caring about what you're doing. And in return, you show that care back. And I'm always happy to come back to Oakland. I'm always happy to talk with you guys. I'm always happy to do anything that could make a difference in anybody's life because there's a lot of people made a difference in mine.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to be rooting for it. I mean, you got Walt Weiss. I mean, you got Matt Olson. I mean, there's A's all over the place over there.
That's what it's about.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Scott, that's right. It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, A's fans, check out Longport Fish Company, an exciting new chef-driven seafood restaurant located in the Veranda Shopping Center in Concord. Longport features the highest quality lobsters, oysters, king salmon, flavorful cioppino, and much, much more. It features a full bar of craft cocktails, local brews, and a curated wine list. Longport Fish Company is for all occasions too. Date night, business meetings, catching an A's game at the bar, or bringing the whole family. Check us out at longportfc.com, on Yelp, and on all social media.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hitting the road with the family. On your way to nonstop adventures. No worries ahead, because you know you can stop at a Chevron station along the way. Get fuel for your car, fuel for your crew. That's Chevron with Techron for unbeatable mileage and snacks for all. Coffee for mom, chips for the kids, cold drinks for dad. You know, for the road ahead. Toss in some laughs, out-of-tune singing, and a zillion "Are we there yet?" And you just made lifelong family memories. Chevron, together ahead.
Hey, A's fans, we've got a great deal for you. Get 4 tickets and parking for all Friday night games starting at just $39. Pick from great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more.
Outside corner, ring him up. And Eaton can't believe it.
Grab the crew and head to the Coliseum with friends and family any Friday night this season. 4 tickets and parking starting at just $39 for the whole group. Tickets are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente, thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
When Northern California businesses need some pop in their lineup, they call the bank rooted in the East Bay. Mechanics Bank. Since 1905, Mechanics Bank has been helping Bay Area and Northern California businesses find success and perform at the top of their game. See how they can make a difference in your business today. Call or stop by your local branch or visit mechanicsbank.com. Mechanics Bank, the official East Bay bank of the Oakland A's. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Well, it's been a jam-packed show, so we really haven't had time to talk about the significance of today. But the major significance for us, and we really want to thank you, the A's fans, is today we can officially say we've reached 5 million downloads. 5 million since 2019. We are by far the number one podcast in Major League Baseball. But we are far more than a podcast. We're really like a radio station that basically is a podcast, as we give you information and we give you entertainment 24/7, 365. We never go off the air. Most teams haven't put the effort in. They'll have somebody do a podcast and they put it up. No one has put the effort in that we have to give you something that's every day, all day. And we want to thank you, because without you, we don't get to these numbers. When we created this in 2019, we had no idea we were going to do a live show. That came off Dave Cavill and one of our old bosses of wanting to do a opening day show where it was a 4-hour show. We had never gone live, and we had never done commercials. And I'll never forget them asking me, could we do it? And my answer to everything is, of course we can do it. And I had no idea whether we could do it or not. And I remember being right here with Joey the Italian Stallion, if you remember Joey Livatore.
Now runs the Ducks.
And he had all these commercials. We literally had no idea. We were going live. The sun was coming up. Our old COO, Chris Giles, was doing the television hits with the morning shows. Sun's coming up. It's opening day. It's a day game. And we go live. And that was how A's Cast Live was born. And literally, Joey had to go over and listen on his phone to see if it was working. I started the show, and I didn't even know if it was working. I didn't take a break for 3.5 hours. I did 3.5 hours straight. And they kept bringing me guests, and I kept talking. 3.5 hours. Finally, we're going to take a break. Once again, we don't know if the commercials are going to work. We go to a break. He hits it. The commercials work. We took one break for 2 minutes because that's all the commercials we had. So basically, I talked for 4 hours straight. I went up, took a quick break, then did an hour pregame show, did the game, postgame show. I show up the next day thinking it was a one-off, and they go, everybody really liked it. They want to now do a show. I went, oh, my God, are you serious? But that's kind of how we have evolved. No, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's very many people other than, I'm not going to mention all of their names, but there's a very small group that actually believed we could do it. And one is Dave Cavill, who we really have to thank. He believed in it. But I can tell you, I would say 98%, I mean, I'd say about 98% of people in this organization did not believe in us. They didn't believe we could do it. They didn't know why we were doing it. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of resources. And let me tell you this, A's fans, there hasn't been 5 million people come into this ballpark since 2019. I can guarantee you our television broadcast, our radio broadcast, they haven't had 5 million people watch their product. The fact that we're the one thing, 5 million downloads, you took the time. And this doesn't count you who just watched live. This is just downloads. This is not the interactions and all the people who've just listened live. What we've been able to accomplish, and that's why I want to say congratulations to Cody, because it was Cody who I said, I need somebody to help me build this. I need somebody to help me grow this. It just can't all be me. And that's when I went out and stole him from 95.7 The Game. So congratulations to you. 5 million is a big part of what you've done, of all the stuff, all these podcasts and everything that he's downloading it and he's putting it together and he's making it happen and stuff that you see on Twitter and everything. Cody's been doing it. So Cody, congratulations. You are a huge part of this 5 million.
Well, I'm a big me guy, so I'm going to bask in all
If there's anybody who loves Cody, it's Cody.
No, it's been a great ride, and I can't take credit for all of it myself. Ray, who's now here for after Joey left us, Ray helps a lot with A's Cast in the radio broadcast, but more so than it's Ray's
There's his hand.
Ray will be in for me next week when I'm sitting in a lagoon in Iceland. That's what people do on their honeymoon, is hang out in the lagoon where people are at the beach. But yeah, we've had great success.
Okay, that's my ignorance. They have lagoon beaches in Iceland.
It's not a beach. This is like a lagoon. Like it's an indoor lagoon. I don't know. My wife booked all of this. I picked Iceland. She figured everything out.
Because when I think love and I think honeymoon, I think Iceland.
And Ireland. She wanted to go to Ireland.
Ireland.
I wanted them to go to London, but we settled on.
I could see London, Ireland.
Well, our whole trip, real quick, this is
we'll get to this at another time.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Japan, but that's why we're going. But yeah, but with A's Cast, everything we've been able to do through a pandemic, a lockout, wildfires, power outages, bad internet, bad computer, just bad technology.
Yeah.
You know, one thing we haven't had problems with, we don't really have a lot of guests bail on us, and that's just, I got to credit a lot of the people I've reached out to and built relationships with for them for never bailing on us. And the relationships you built with them to be able to talk with them and to have the trust to come on with us as much as they do.
Well, think about this. Folks, we carried a baseball show. Season ends. All of a sudden, we have a pandemic, a global pandemic that's killing people, and people are sick all around the world. Baseball basically shuts down. We never shut down a baseball show. We talked baseball all the way up till opening day, where Matt Olson, who's here, hit the walk-off grand slam in extra innings.
Against the Angels, yeah.
How many months was that did we carry baseball with no baseball?
It ended in October, right? And then we went to the winter meetings in December thinking, all right, Colson, Strasburg, Rendon, like, here we go. Then March comes, we go to Vegas for the then Indians and A series, and we go to spring training, and then a couple days later we get shut down because of COVID. So October to July 25th or 6th, when also hit the grand slam off Holby Milner. Yes, I remember the picture. That's how long we went. Almost a calendar year.
And what we've done is to try and give this franchise that we love, to give it its due, to give it access to the players, to what's going on, to giving you what you deserve as A's fans. Because all the years that I was doing stuff on terrestrial radio, I heard you. I heard what you wanted. Well, why don't we have this and why don't we have that? Well, we've given you what you now want, where you have things that are dedicated just for your team. And you've responded by helping us with 5 million downloads. And like I said, it's more than 5 million when you look at everybody who has listened live and now the ability to watch live. So what you have been how you have watched us grow, it's your support that has allowed us to grow, to bring you as much information about this franchise and to help us take it to the next level where we have bigger plans than this. This has just all been the start. So we need to thank Catherine Aker, Delaire, DA. We need to thank everybody around us who's allowing us to grow and give us the opportunity to keep being at the forefront to where other teams in Major League Baseball are. I can't wait. We're going to go back to the winter meetings this year. We were the darlings of the winter meetings in 2019. Everybody was coming to us saying, what's it like? What's it like? Well, we haven't seen anybody. I can't wait for them to see how we've evolved. We know how they react when the teams get here, but how when we're all in the same room, wherever that room will be in San Diego,
or what hotel we'll be at,
to now show them how we have grown, progressed. Here's our numbers. Here's what we're doing. We have advertising. We're monetizing it. It's really a cool thing. The A's have been at the forefront of a lot of different things in baseball, and that's what we're doing from a multimedia perspective, to where look how we're now tied in with NBC Sports California. I do hits now every single day representing A's Cast that's on our cable station. So you got A's Cast that's being seen by cable, streaming. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. Our game has changed dramatically over time.
Yeah, and adding the visual element to it, I know people don't really care to maybe not see us on television or on YouTube and Twitter, but they care to see our players and opposing players. You got to see Matt Olson today.
Why would they not want to see us?
I don't know. I have a face for radio, as they say.
Wow.
I'm taking shots myself. But you got to see Matt Olson today. You got to see a Ken Waldachuk. You got to see Ron Washington.
You get to see the field.
Yeah, here, I'll stand up so people can see it.
I mean, when guys come in, they're taking ground balls. Normally they're taking ground. Oh, they're staying out of the heat today, basically. But you get to see.
Wash was hitting the balls.
You get to see all the stuff going on behind us. And we give you access. Like, think of all the players. Think of the XAs we've had recently. Josh Donaldson, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman. We're not getting that unless we're right here. We're the only show in Major League Baseball. And I would like to say, of any of the big four sports, that's NFL, that's NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball, I don't know of another show that's on the field where basically every game, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
Not. I can tell you in the NFL, I've traveled all the NFL stadiums, and I was able to do my pregame stuff but that was just from my phone, wherever I get the best reception. No one was doing an on-field show in the NFL. Nobody. I didn't see one. I mean, what we do is so unique. And, yeah, we may be crowing a little bit, but you know what? We should. Of what we've been able to accomplish. I don't think anybody else in sports is doing what we're doing. You're not seeing the NBA. No one's on the basketball court doing a show during shoot around. No one's doing it on the ice in the NHL.
No. We've seen teams try to start doing what we're doing. The Sharks have done it. The Ducks are doing it now with our old cohort, Joey Liberatore. Yeah. But no one's doing what we're doing on the field, and that's why it's so special for us to be able to do what we do and build relationships with the teams we have built, like having a Matt Olson, like having Chapman, Trevino. Well, we actually text them ourselves. Just like on Thursday, the OG, true friend of the program. I told him to come on with us because he's coming back to town. That'd be I grabbed the headset and talk whenever I went, Liam Hendricks.
Liam Hendricks, friend of the program.
The original friend of the program.
Yes. Still to this date, no A other than Liam. No A's player has been on more than Liam Hendricks.
Yeah, no. There's a guy quietly creeping up the board, and that's Cole Irvin. But he's
he's got a long way to go.
He's so well, but he's
Ray Fosse and Liam Hendricks are at the forefront of guest appearances.
Liam Hendricks is Joe DiMaggio, and everyone else is well behind him in the.
Liam Hendricks would come by every day and just put the headset on. That's the access we have. We have that. And you gain those relationships with the players. And, yeah, I mean, it's like Cole Irvin now. It's like, hey, whenever you guys want me on today, you want to bring me on?
We got to talk to him. Oregon got blown out the other day.
That was a really rough start for the Oregon Ducks.
Pac-12. Pac-12 didn't look good.
3 points?
Yeah, 3 points. Biggest shutout.
I couldn't even believe, was it late Saturday night, I was watching TCU beat up on Colorado in Colorado.
Oh.
If you're a Pac-12 school, you're losing SC and UCLA, and you're getting whooped on the first week. Bad luck for the old Pac-12.
All I know is it's a get-right game for our Spartans this weekend.
Hey, San Jose State's 1-0. We didn't want to show the playbook for Auburn. Didn't want to show – just went very vanilla, very generic against Portland State. Didn't want to show Josh Donaldson's or Tim Hudson's War Eagle Auburn Tigers what we got. We got to get Coach Brennan on.
Yeah.
Yes, and we do things other than just talk baseball.
Yeah, we'll do some stuff outside of baseball and baseball's over too.
By the way, we're putting together some parties coming up here for the end of the month. We're discussing it and for the playoffs for you A's fans to come see us. And, of course, we'll have prizes, promote Black Panther.
I am. That's what I was going to say. So on Saturday, you'll be able to get this, and then we have the read right here. Feeling heroic this Saturday, join forces with the A's to take on the Chicago White Sox this Saturday at the Coliseum. September 10th during Marvel Superhero Day presented by Xfinity. The first 20,000 fans at the ballpark can take home a Black Panther Funko Pop. There will also be a costume contest, so come out and enjoy the fun. Grab your tickets for Marvel Superhero Day at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets. I love these things. I have all the Seinfeld characters. I just bought a Mandalorian one. I have Phil from Groundhog Day with Phil Connors. People collect bobbleheads. I collect these things.
I don't even know what they are.
They're like bobbleheads, but not really. They're smaller.
Ray, do you have these? Do you collect these?
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I do.
I mean, what happened to baseball cards? Can't you just collect baseball
those are big
cards?
again. I mean, I still have all mine, but those are big again. They're worth a lot of money.
I'm a bad guy I'm not a collector. I have a garage. You know what?
You have a lot of hats.
I have a collector of hats. I have a lot of stuff in my garage. I think that baseball fans and sports fans would love that I just have in boxes.
There's an MVP trophy in there.
I just got an MVP trophy, and that's, of course, my grandfather's. But, oh, yeah, I got stuff you wouldn't. I mean, I've got baseballs of Hall of Famers signed that are just rolling around in boxes somewhere. It doesn't mean anything to me. And maybe I should be more into collecting this stuff. I can't even imagine my wife if I brought that. Honey, look, can we put?
I don't know.
Not a chance.
Marvel's owned by Disney, and your big Disney family.
But if you want Disney princess movies, I've got every single one, and I have so much Disney princess stuff in my garage that someday they're not ready to give it up. At some point, they gotta let it go.
Well, college is coming soon.
Oh,
they'll be over it by then.
But once again, the main thing today is thank you. Thank you, everybody, for helping our dreams come true. We started it. We wanted to make it happen, and we wanted to do it for you. And selfishly, it's been a big project for us. It's been, everything that we do. And I'm very proud.
Me too. You don't get enough credit for a lot of the stuff we do.
I get enough.
I give you shout outs during our meetings all the time. Ray can attest. He knows.
Absolutely.
I'm shocked they bring me up in meetings.
I mean, we have to.
They're not afraid to work me every day.
We show face for you there.
They're not afraid for me to work. Hey, yeah, Saturday, another season ticket holder event. Sweet. No, I love doing it. I love you, bro.
Same, man. All right, we got to go. You got pregame coming up.
Oh, yeah. Now go do pregame, superstar. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate everything you've done for us. It means a lot. It really does. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Coming up next, A's Total Access right here on A's.
Brought to you by Chevron.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into local Bay Area charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hey, Ace fans, we've got a great deal